I can see that the live is in 4 minutes 33 seconds. Hello all. Welcome for joining. Welcome to our live and thank you for joining. I'm Anushka Joshi and I am part of the team Roz Roz since the video was shot at my house and I did a little cameo in the video, which I am super honored to be part of. And today I have the team of the music video Roz Roz with me. I have the director Eva Rawat, the director of photography Anish Pansarkar, and the performers and the choreographers Purvaja Ketkar and Maithili. Would you guys like to talk a little bit yourselves? Could we start with Reva?
Hi, I'm Reva. I directed this video. I'm a second year student studying at Queen's University, Canada, and I wanted to do making as a career.
Anish, would you like to continue talking about yourself for a little bit?
Hello, my name is Anish Pansarkar. I am pursuing cinematography and I'm the director of photography on this video. Yes, that's about myself.
Purvaja?
Hi, I'm Purvaja. I am a freelancer, dancer, and choreographer. And I choreographed the dance sequences with Maithili in this video. So yeah, that's about it.
And Maithili?
Hi, I'm a contemporary dancer and I'm currently doing a lot of things. But yeah, basically I got this chance because Purvaja told me about this amazing idea and I was part of the team as a performer and tiny bit of choreography also. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's amazing. Let's move on to the question and answer part of the session. If the audience has any questions, please free to put them into the comment section and we'll take them later in the event. So the first question is for Purvaja. What came first, the song or the idea for the music video?
So I came across this song many months back, and I always wanted to do a dance sequence on this. And it was not just like, the song which we would put on the speakers and dance on to in our bedrooms, but I just really wanted to do something about it. I want to creatively create something. And as I've worked with Anish and Reva earlier on a project, I knew that I had a team. So So I could pitch in my idea, and that's what I thought, that I could really do something about this with them, because I knew for a fact that they as a team would give justice to this. So the idea came first, but the song was my inspiration behind this idea. So I pitched in the song, and Reva came up with the storyline, which is really, really beautiful. And yeah, I think Reva can talk about the theme or the story, how we came about it.
Yes, the next question is for Reva. What was the inspiration behind the idea for the video?
To be honest, once I listened to the song, there's kind of like a funny story associated with how we came across wanting to do it. So we had finished our first video, which is Khair Mandla, or like, do watch it. And then Purvaja commented on a post of Anish ki, should we do something? And I said yes there. And we just kind of started working on this song, and I listened to it multiple times. It was clearly a love story, and we wanted to explore something new, like what more could we add to it. And we came up with the idea of an LGBTQ story, which is, I think it was Pride Month as well. And it was just, we wanted to do justice to this thing, and that's how we came up with the whole idea of it.
The music piece is definitely really beautiful, and I can see where you got the inspiration from. The next question is again for Purvaja and Maithili. What made you select this song? Like, I heard that you liked the song, but was it the lyrics part of it? Were the beats interesting? Was the tune interesting? What made you like? What made you attract towards the song and like use it in your music video?
I think there was this emotion that came out for me through this song, and the lyrics, they're super beautiful. Like, those who are not aware of this song, please go and listen to it. It's Roz Roz by Yellow Diary. They have composed the song very beautifully, and I take out the lyrics first. Even like whenever I'm moving, I just focus on the lyrics and the tune. And yeah, that inspired me to move on my own, and it was going somewhere. It was just, as I said, it was not just me dancing in my room and just, just to let my stress out. It was not like that. So that's what I thought, that it has to have a meaning, like it has to be a bigger thing than just listening and moving to the song. Yeah.
In continuation to that, you're talking about movement and not dancing in your room, but showing it to people and everything. What was the thinking process behind the choreography pieces? And was there any piece that was particularly hard to choreograph or hard to get down during practices? Was there any funny story? Was there any clashes with anybody? Like, tell me more about that part of it.
Mai, you want to go?
Oh, so actually, Purvaja was already working on a choreography when I came into the process. So I kind of tried to first get a hang of it, and we tried to build something on the same basis. And I think the most interesting part about it was that the place we had, your wonderful house that we had, where we were going to dance, the staircase part and the bed part really actually had to be specific. Like, the choreography had to be specific to that location, and I think that just made it more unique. And yeah, so that was really fun to do. And like, I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
For me, as you mentioned, for me, the bedroom sequence, the second scene where we shoot the duet, it was very hard to choreograph, because we actually had to imagine the beds, and we had to like take the measurements where we when we were practicing at a different space. So it is really hard to imagine that we are climbing onto the beds, and that is a step in the choreography. It was really challenging, but it was interesting at the same time how we were able to execute it actually on the shoot day. And yeah, like there was some moments where my brain was not working, and I would just go like, Maithili, just just take the lead, maybe just suggest something so that my mental block is cleared. But then yeah, it was it was really amazing.
The bedroom sequence I was witness for when it was actually shot, and it did not feel like they were doing it for the first time. The day the day they started shooting it and the day like they shot the whole second scene, the sequence, it was so beautiful to watch. I mean, no one would be able to believe the fact that they had not practiced there before, or this was the first time trying the sequence in that space. It was absolutely beautiful to watch. The next question I have is for Anish. What part took the longest to shoot, or what was the hardest part to shoot, and why was it?
So every location had its challenges. I think the longest part would be uh, the forest scene because it was raining. It was stopping. The rain stopped. Then it was raining again. So uh, we went out. We came in back in the farmhouse. We went out again, and that's where it was the longest. This is about the farmhouse part. The stairs had its own challenges. The space was very narrow. You couldn't stand. Uh, if you had elongated both of your arms sideways, you couldn't stand there. It was that narrow. And so every location had its own challenges. The longest that we shot somewhere was definitely the farmhouse.
Moving on to the next question, Reva. What was your vision while shooting this music video, and what was your inspiration behind the idea of the whole video?
So basically, when we decided on the LGBTQ theme, most videos that I watched, not that they're bad, I love those videos, but they're usually on the lines of uh, a person struggling to come to terms with themselves or coming to terms with society or things like that. And I did not want to be stereotypical in that way. I wanted to normalize LGBTQ relationships. Like, look at their relationship just as that without focusing on the sexuality part. And I just wanted to portray a love story rather than an awareness story, to be honest. So I just kind of focused on the emotions of these two people who are falling in love with each other and the fact that they're best friends, and one of them is just realizing about this. And that's the part I focused on rather than the fact that they were two girls. I mean, I think it's we should be normalizing these kind of things rather than focusing a lot on them. So that was my inspiration and vision behind it. It was just supposed to be a love story.
That is a really amazing vision to have while shooting videos about such topics. And I'm so glad you made this video and put it out there, because moving on to the next question, which is what I wanted to say. What are the best audience comments or feedbacks you've received for such an amazing video? And this question is open for all, so feel free to pitch in at any time.
Maithili, if you want to tell about what that Ajay said to you, it was really nice.
Yeah, so actually, like a lot of older people, like my Ajji and her friends, and a lot of older people also saw the video, and I wasn't sure how the reaction will be or how it will go. But then I got a call from one of the Ajjis, and she had a really interesting interpretation for it, and she told me that she felt the same things about a friend of hers. And at the start I thought, yeah, it doesn't have the sexuality, doesn't have, it's very fluid, it can change over time, it's blah 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 blah. But the thing was not that. So she interpreted in such a way that a friend of yours is sad and you want to cheer them up and they're not opening up to you, and then you get to then you realize how much trouble they are in, and they finally tell you that, and now you are at a place where you don't know what to do for them, or if you can help them at all. And that confusion she interpreted from the video. So that was really interesting to see the subtlety of the topic put in and how it connected in different ways to different people. And I think that was really, really nice about the video as well. So yeah, that was really interesting.
I really liked how, like, yes, there were technical parts where we could have improved, but many people connected to the story on a personal level. And I got feedback from like all the older people. I was not sure how they would react to it, like even sharing it in my family group and things like that. But everyone was so supportive and open about it, and they liked the way it was subtly put. So we got enthusiastic feedback from all age groups, which is very kind of inspiring for us also to create even in the future.
Yeah, I think even I was a little skeptical ki how my even on my Instagram or my Facebook, how my followers are going to take it, because it's like a vast age group. Even my family members are on Facebook and Instagram, so I was really worried. But then everybody, including my mom's colleagues, my ajji, her family, so everybody is like, wow, the video is so nice, we understood what the concept was. And I was like, oh my god, it was overwhelming for me, because it's this video was really important for all of us to actually execute in first place. And yeah, I really love the fact how some people messaged me saying that I could relate, and I could remember things about my past where I felt certain things about my best friend, and then I got a little emotional. So it was a very wholesome moment for me to just take it all in. So I think it's the real win when people can relate to whatever you create. So it's a really wholesome feeling.
Yeah, I think the story was put so subtly. I think that was really nice of Reva to build the shots in such a way that everything was very subtle about it, and people really liked that, because usually, I don't know, but it just comes out that we tend to show same-sex relationships in a very stereotypical way, uh, just so that people can identify that this is a same-sex relationship and this is not just friendship. And I don't know, you get me, right? It's that kind of a thing. But with this video, a lot of feedback was saying that how subtly it was put and how nice it was and how relatable it was. And I really liked that um, idea that they were able to connect in such a way. And yeah, I think that's a big win for us. And I'm really
Yeah, I
glad.
think even like costume wise, everything was so subtle. Like there were no stereotypes in even portraying the same sex relationships. Like, usually we see a certain costume pattern whenever we see these videos. But then I really like that Sai, who was our costume designer, she thought it out so beautifully. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is going so subtly that people are just going to see us as human beings and not as like, this is an LGBTQ story. And there was no ring to it like that. So
I feel like your video instigated a lot of conversations in people's homes, like people's families, with their grandparents, with their parents. And these conversations are not easy to have at times. Everybody may have like different opinions, but this was a very um, genuine and beautiful way to have a conversation about this. This was a nice way to start a conversation about it. So kudos to your video about that. Um, the next question is, did the video turn out the way you envisioned? If you could go back and change one thing about it, what would it be?
For me, it most definitely did turn out the way that I had imagined it. And I think I have to thank Anish for that, because we were always on the same page and he did pull off the shots that I had thought of, which is, I mean, a great thing. Is there anything I would change? Maybe if we had more time, I would have thought of the topic maybe in a little more detail, or if the choreography had been more for the camera, like that's just something that we learned. And yeah, we'll definitely be working on that. But otherwise, I think it did turn out the way that I had imagined it to be. And then there are the technicalities, but we can like work on that.
For me, it was the acting part majorly, because conveying my emotions through movements is easy for me, but then conveying it through my face is a little harder, just like focusing on the face. So I definitely struggle there. But I think next time, like, we evaluate what went wrong or what could have been better, and then we can always work on it. So I think that area majorly. And yes, choreography, to perform a sequence on the stage is different, and it's just, it's just you and the audience. But then uh, keeping the camera angles in mind, keeping the story in mind, you have to like combine everything together and then put up a choreography for the camera. So that was a challenge. So yeah, we could improve that next time.
Anish, Maithili, anything you want to add?
I think it really is one of the big takeaways. Ki, when you're doing something for a medium, it should be made for the medium, and the process should, matlab, we should keep in mind the process in such a way that we are all on the same page. I think we try to do that in this video, and through that we can achieve doing it for the medium.
Yeah, I feel like there were a lot of points where we really connected in a way that we all knew that, yeah, this is working and this is not working. And that was really a nice thing to have as a team. We were a really nice team, is what I felt. That everyone was talking very transparently to each other, and there was no uh, ऐसे पीठ पीछे कुछ नहीं था, या फिर there was very nice vibe to the entire process. So I really like that. And yeah, but surely I also feel that we could have been more creative about everything if we had more time with it, especially with the choreographies. And the dance part of it, I felt there was a lot of scope for being more creative about it. But yeah, but surely it's a takeaway that next time, yeah, sure. And it's not that we lacked in something. Like whatever we have right now is actually the best way we could convey the things that we wanted to convey. But I think there is always a creative possibility to everything that you're doing in a process. And sadly, you get to realize that after you watch the entire video together and you see like, हाँ यहाँ पे ऐसा क्या होता तो. So I think, yeah.
Actually, a lot of people pointed some things out which even we thought could have been better. So it was a really healthy conversation between even the audience and us, that they themselves came forward to just point it out that, ye kuch samjha nahi, or this could have been better. So the audience feedbacks, they were also very, very valuable to us.
I think it's most of the times in theory we know if we have to do this and this has to happen a certain way, and then you actually carry it out, and then it's the more we know, you carry it out, and then you know कि ऐसा करना था. That's how you do it, and this has been a great learning process.
Talking about takeaways, you all mentioned takeaways from the project. What were your personal best takeaways? And also, what was your idea? What would you have liked the audience to take away from this project? So let's talk about takeaways.
Should I start? Okay, I'll start. So basically for me, so early on, like taking such a sensitive topic, when Purvaja came to me with this, I was skeptical. Like I said that we'll do an LGBTQ video, but I did not know how people would take it. But then I just kind of learned along the way that I'm not creating for people, I'm creating for myself in a way, like to improve my own work as well. And if I put my best and put all my emotions into this, and I'm happy with the result, then people will like it. And if they don't, I mean, it's a personal choice. So I just kind of learned, even with sensitive issues, if you are comfortable with it, go ahead with it. Like if you want to really tell something, if you just keep thinking about what people would say, the world will kind of be deprived of your opinions. And I just kind of learned how to overcome that fear of being not judged, but like creating work for yourself more than for others.
Yeah, I think my takeaway is pretty similar to what Reva just said right now. Like, along the process, I realized that how enjoyable everything can be if you just are at peace in what is happening. And we constantly have this very competitive idea of yeah, is this done before, am I copying someone, am I doing this the right way, am I being too much, am I being too little, and all these questions kind of jump in when you're creating any new thing and you want to be authentic about it and everything, and it kind of pressurizes you in a way. But my takeaway would be that instead of trying to have a product which pleases all the people that are going to watch it, it's much, much preferred that you make it for yourself first, and you enjoy the process first, and it is for you first, and then you put it out for everyone, and then it just goes away, like the fear just goes away. And I think that was the biggest takeaway, that I was able to enjoy the entire process without a doubt in my mind saying, what if, what if? And that was a really nice experience to have, and I really enjoyed that.
I think you both have summed up my thoughts, because even I was thinking that, after the video was released and after I was like, showered with love and all the feedback and comments, I was so happy that, something finally happened that I wanted to do from so long, because something like this I was dying to do. And I'm more than glad that I've got this team, because even there were times when we didn't agree with each other, but that was communicated in a very healthy way. That is very crucial to bind the team together. Like, you can't just have arguments and then go your own ways. This is not how the team works. But this team, thankfully, it's the communication was so clear and it was so direct that we caught on each other's vibes very quickly. And I think that's why I didn't even feel like, what if something goes wrong, or there was nothing in my mind, because then I was really happy about even the process, about how it was going. So it was really nice for me to experience it. So as Maithili said, even I was really happy that I'm creating this for myself and then for the audience. That's important.
Okay, so a slightly heavier question before we move on to the funnier stuff. What were some issues you had to face throughout this whole process? May it be regarding shooting, the equipment, the locations. So, is there anything like an obstacle or an issue you guys would like to talk about?
I think when we started, it was hard to find another person to dance with Purvaja. We were looking for so many dancers. There were a lot of obstacles when it came to that. And then, but I think this is the smoothest shoot I have ever been on. Not kidding. So we did not have a lot of obstacles except for the part where it was raining during the farmhouse shoot. And then we just have to kind of go in, come out, go in, come out. And then, but we are so glad that we found Maithili, by the way. We were just really happy.
The search for the dancers was amazing. Like really, she Reva and me were because there were so many obstacles related to somebody that would complement my movements and somebody that would complement my our like our as a team, the thinking that somebody should mirror that. So we were in desperate need of that very person, and we are so glad we found Maithili. And yeah, the obstacles include the power
I think
cuts and the rains.
yeah, the main reason was that we had to hurry because Anushka was going to renovate her house, and then we had limited time to shoot. So, like, even if we had someone, we had to let people go. Other people came in, and then everyone had exam time issues and everything.
Also, I think while shooting my solo, I think it was really hard for me to dance bare feet. So I had to wear my footwear, and I personally don't like wearing footwear when I'm dancing anywhere. So yeah, but dil pe patthar rakhna pada.
Yeah. So I feel like that's it for this question. Now moving on to the writer stuff, and I expect everybody to pitch in at this point. What was your favorite or most memorable thing from this process? It can be something funny that you will never forget in your life, because I know I've seen a fair share of funny things happening during shooting. Um, so, favorite memorable moments, go. Okay, I'm going to start since everybody's thinking of their favorite memorable moments. I was there only for one day of the shooting, and um, I feel like the behind the scenes and the way everybody was so efficient, and it was like a well-oiled machine how every one of you were working. It was so amazing to watch the management. Like you guys came at 6:30 in the morning and you were done by 3:30 after taking many breaks and having a lot of fun and cracking stupid jokes, climbing on ladders and taking hilarious shots and everything. But the way you all finished everything, and the way when you were working you were absolutely into it, you guys were so focused, you were so in sync with each other. It was amazing to watch, and the fact that I got to do a little scene in such an amazing video has to be a very memorable thing for me. But watching all of you work behind the scenes, because some of the people from the team I've known since I was a little kid. So seeing them in their element, seeing you all so passionate about the work you're doing and the efforts you guys put in into the video, the way you were working so quick without any kind of miscommunication, and there was no negative energy in the whole place that day. It was so positive and happy, like it was impossible to not smile being around all of you. So that was definitely the most memorable part of this whole shoot for me. And if I talk about the funniest moments, there are so many that I will lose count. We've had so many behind the scene inside jokes about things ranging from cutlery to people standing on ladders. And I could go on all day, but I'm going to let somebody else talk.
So many dad jokes we did. Like,
Anish should talk about the ladder, I think.
Anish should talk about a lot of things, actually. He's not talking about a lot of things.
One of the most terrified I've ever been in my life was at the farmhouse. In the dome, there was a huge spider, and I don't think the other people noticed it, but I was terrified to my core. And then we had to get rid of the spider.
Killed that spider, by the way. So just
I did kill that spider. I get that credit. It was probably a poison spider. And I was scared to my core, and we had to shoot there, and we had to get rid of it. I had to sleep there at night. So the world was coming down upon me.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
think Anish's most panicking moment would be when it started raining and he had his precious camera in his hands and he was like, Chalo, chalo, niklo, pack up. And like 3 times we got back to the farmhouse because it started raining. And yeah, I think that was the most pressurizing moment for Anish. That
and
was
when we
funny.
say back to the farmhouse, we were a good 500 meters away from the farmhouse. And so,
Yeah.
even if there was a little drop of rain, I would hand over the camera to Ashmit and say, Ashmit, shirt ke andar dal and run as fast as you can. You have to
Yeah.
save the camera. And that happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Both the
emphasize
ladder.
that when you say raining, it was not pouring, it was a drizzle peksha पण कमी. So just emphasize why it was so funny.
And I think the most beautiful moment was when we switched off all the lights and we sat outside and there were kazwe. काय म्हणतात त्यांना? What do you call them?
Fireflies.
Fireplace.
Fireflies. Yes. Oh my God, yes. And there were fireflies all around us. It was so beautiful. I think that was the most, like, besides the shoot, a moment that kind of happened.
I think the location itself gave us like a little boost. Like it was very refreshing, even in between the shots. Like we would take a walk and just get our brains refreshed. So I think the location also played a huge part in like just making us stress free.
And other than that, like I'm just so glad that I met all of these people to create with. Like I just want to put it out because we had worked before, like I'd worked with Purvaja before, but we bonded so much on this project to the point where her contact name is 4 a.m. Dahi, which I think is the funniest thing which happened to me. Because she wanted dahi at 4 a.m. in the morning. And yeah, it was funny when it happened.
That was the best thing that has ever happened in this process. I don't know, we climbed from where and passed through a window to get into the kitchen. I don't know why. And we were having this heart to heart talk like till 3 a.m. in the morning, and suddenly we decided to sleep. And then I felt hungry again, and I'm like, Reva, get up, I need to eat. So she took me to the kitchen, and then the beach wala door, it was locked. So we climbed through a window and then sneaked into the kitchen, and Reva is like, मी स्वतःच्याच घरी अशी चोरासारखी काय वागते.
Okay, so now I want honest answers for this question. So, what were your first impressions of each other? Very honest, okay? Please be very brutally honest here because we need content. Go on.
Anushka, is this a surprise question? Like, I didn't
I
think.
told you I might have few surprises up my sleeve, so go on.
Okay, cool. So I will say something. Okay, so I met Anish first because we are friends from, not friends from school, but I was like, why is this person calling me? And he said, like, let's just make a film. And that's how I knew him as a very arrogant and useless person, but then he turned out to be okay. So that was the first impression of Anish. Purvaja, I actually called her up out of the blue. I did not even know her. We just had a common thread between us. And I just called her and said, do you want to make a film? Like, do you want to act in a film that I want to make? And she said yes. And he was like, who is this person who's so bhari? I'm just telling her, like, I called her up out of the blue. She doesn't even know me. And she's saying yes to a film and she's ready to do it without money. So I just thought she was the greatest person on the planet for that day. And as for Maithili, we first had a video call. I cracked very, very amazing jokes which people think are bad, and she did not laugh on them. So I thought she thinks I'm a little crazy. So that was the first impression about Maithili, that I was kind of scared of her because she does not like my jokes. Like, what am I going to do? So
I still think you are a
yeah.
little crazy, but in a good way. Like, don't worry. Yeah, I'll go second. So Purvaja, I don't know when I saw her first. Like we've been dancing together for such a long time. I don't know the first time I met her. Like it was so long ago. So my first impression of her would be um I don't know, just a nice person who wants to dance with me, I guess. Yeah, and at the so I wouldn't count the video call as our first meet, but when I first met all of you, I think I met you guys together. I met Anushka a little later, but Reva and Anish, my first impression was I did not think they were just 19-year-olds. And I thought that, okay, no, these guys sound really serious. What can I do? Like, am I even gonna be able to do the video the way they want me to do and things like that? So I was really anxious to, talk to them at the beginning. And I was like, हाँ ठीक है मैं करती हूँ, okay, ऐसा है का, okay. And then, yeah, so that was my first impression of them. Like they are really hardworking people who are very serious about things. And then I heard some jokes, and then I realized, okay, they are normal. they're like they're like me. Okay, fine. So yeah, and Anushka's first impression would be her eyes. I just remember watching her eyes, and then I saw that okay, there's an entire person there. And I think, yeah, I was mesmerized by her eyes. First impression was that. And then, yeah, I found out that how good of a host she is. So, yeah, that's my first impression.
So I know Anushka and Reva from school. I knew them. We weren't friends though. I remember them being mean to me. We were in the treasure and committee. They made me stand outside the classroom because what if someone comes in and the door, locking the door isn't enough. We need a person outside. But that's okay.
That is mean. That was not mean. But anyways, take care.
And about Purvaja, we were searching for someone to do Khe Mandla. And when we finally found someone, it was like a blessing. When I first met Maithili, she was one of two things. She was either going to be very judgmental about whatever is going on, or she was going to be cool. She turned out to be the second one, and I'm glad.
Okay, so when I first met Maithili, I don't remember how I met her was because I think it was 5-6 years ago, I think, and we've been dancing together since then. So I think I don't know, but I don't know. Sorry, like, I don't remember how. Like, but yeah, I love the way we bonded over the time, and our movements are the thing we always discuss, that our movements are not similar. Like our movement vocab is not similar. But then when we come together, it just mirrors, and somehow it happens. So that I really value that bond. When I met, no, I spoke to Reva first on the call, and I didn't know she was this young. I thought she was a very, I don't know, maybe my age or someone very mature and very professional. And she had this very soothing, calming voice that, hey, we are doing this project. Would you be interested? And I was like, oh my God, so professional. Yes, I'm in. This was your first impression actually made me say yes to the project. But it is a compliment because she's very professional and organized when it comes to communication and just reaching out. So that is like 100 marks on that. And then I thought Anish was a very serious and not so talkative person. But then I realized that he takes time to open up, and because I could relate because I'm the same. So when he opened up, I'm like, "Ha, theek hai." Everybody's like equally जाऊ दे. So yeah, and Anushka, I had just one word. Like I at first I was just looking at her hair, the highlights, and her eyes, and I'm like, okay, fine. So just like Maithili said, I observed your highlights, and I'm like, that is so cool. And this one is very soft spoken and a great host. Yes, she I don't know. केवढं खायला घातलंस आम्हाला त्या दिवशी तो like seriously. She fed us a lot and we were like saying no because we had to dance, and we were telling her that no, we don't want anything to eat because then stuffed bellies are not good for movement. So we kept telling her, but then really very sweet this person is. So yeah.
I feel absolutely shattered with all the compliments thrown my way. And my first impression of everybody, I do not have a first impression of Reva. I've known her since I was a 5-year-old kid. I've done everything with her, same school, same college, same bus. Everybody has done that. Anish, I do not remember from school, even if we went to the same school, but me and Anish have bonded over jokes a lot. We have many inside jokes at this point. And Maithili, which I met around the same time, and both of them were like super soft spoken. And I feel like my first memory associated with them always will be their staircase dance rehearsals. I could not stop thinking, oh my god, this is so intricate and beautiful. Like they choreographed that piece in like something 20-25 minutes. We were waiting for 20-25 minutes and then they were done. And I was like, how did these people up with such an amazing choreography in 20-25 minutes? So like super talented, soft spoken people. And I was like, I was so glad to come across and meet every one of you. Like you are amazing people. So moving on to the end of the session, since we have a little less time, what do you have planned next, each of you?
Okay, this is a heavy question, but there are no plans for me as of now, but then I might plan something. It's a surprise. I'm not going to tell.
There just might be something in the pipeline. Too early to discuss about it though.
Yeah.
It's a surprise for people.
Yeah, I think like after in Kher Mandla's comments, this program happened. I think in this video's comments, something else might happen. You never know.
I love the way how every one of you is being super mysterious about what projects you've lined up, not letting any spoilers slip up. But I can't wait to look at what you come up with. And now we have a few questions in our YouTube live chat. Okay, give me a second. Uh, okay, so any particular bloopers that you can't forget that happened during the shooting?
Okay.
Sorry.
The
Go on.
the part where Maithili and Purvaja did the hair flip, I might have just died from laughter, but Anish had the camera there, so he had to tell me to step away and laugh, which was very mean because that was very funny. And that I think is just the best thing that we shot.
Yeah, the that blooper is the best, but for me, the hair tucking scene where when we were practicing it at Reva's place, and Maithili is like it was a task to just find that stand of hair and tuck it behind her hair because it kept coming off and something or the other kept going wrong, and I got so frustrated like अबे ये हो क्यों नहीं रहा है, इसके कान के पीछे क्यों नहीं जा रहा है. I got so frustrated and we started laughing by the end of it, but then we had to practice it any which way. So I somehow managed it, and then I got so used to of that very particular strand that I identified it even later at the shoot day. And I was like, Maithili, you don't do anything. I know where your hair strand lies, so just let me do that. It went up to that. It was so hilarious.
Last question for this event. Funniest argument you had amongst you all?
Did we have an argument though?
The funniest argument we had was scene 3, the cup which we were going to use. Do we show the face of the owl or not?
Okay,
So
no,
that was
let me give the audience the background of this. So there was this cup, if you have, guys have noticed in the video, that I take Maithili's cup and I take a sip from it. So that cup has an owl's face. I don't know what. So we were discussing, is it okay to show that on camera or not? Continue now.
To be honest, after a point, there was no discussion. For the people who were saying no, these guys get forced कि no, we're using this cup because it's an owl and this is cool. And we had no time, so I was like, but okay, do it, fine, doesn't matter. And that's how it happened. But I don't think we had arguments, just annoyed people saying, ha, theek hai, kar. So
Yeah, we came up with a lot of stories why the owl has to be there also. And then it just ended ki तुला काय करायचं ते कर. And then we just did it.
I think we had a whole backstory for Maithili's character, that she's a social worker who works for owls. And then there was a really hilarious behind the scenes video for that whole thing, because we had a different idea for the owl altogether. And Reva was the only one who was absolutely against the owl, but all of us were hell bent on including the owl in the video. So yeah, it was, I don't think it was an
when
argument.
backstory, they just literally created the whole thing that she's a social worker, and then she goes to save animals, and then she has a thing for owls because in her room there's an owl on the AC. That's how much she, and I'm like, I don't even know how to argue with this. So जे करायचं ते करा. It was very funny now that I think of it, but it was very irritating.
I made sure my obsession with owls was seeped into the music video too, because I see how important that is.
We have a question. When did you start working on the project?
Yes.
I think mid-May. COVID time goes very fast, so I think around Tema.
Yeah, we spoke about it mid-May, and then we actually started shooting in June, and then we released it on 28th June. That's also Pride Day, by the way. That was a deliberate choice of release date.
So since we are running out of time, let's just wrap up this session now. Thank you for all the lovely audience for joining the session and staying with us till the very end, and putting up such amazing, wholesome comments in the live chat and showering everybody in the team with so much love. Keep sharing the video, keep showing the video to your family, your friends. Make sure you have conversations about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing more videos from this team. And thank you all for joining. Thank you for the team for making such an amazing video. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.